we'll take a moment in supported fish so that the rib cage is lifted by the block and your head can come over. Now I often find I need to adjust where the ponytail lands, so give yourself a moment. And then start to find a steady breath rhythm. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Your breath comes in. And you can clear out through your mouth and let out some heat, let out some sound. There are a couple of options here to add on, but you can also use this posture as a way of just bringing yourself into the practice of yoga. One of the things that we've really lost in COVID times is the lack of transition. So normally you'd have a walk or a drive to get to a yoga place or to the place where you're going to practice. And today, now, you roll out your mat, but you walked from whatever you were doing a moment ago right into this moment, which is its own metaphor for living in the moment with yoga. But we can take a couple of breaths to practice coming into the present. Now, as you stay here, you have some choices. If your upper chest needs some more space, you can take some, I think of them as snow angel making motions or sun A motions, where you sweep your arms out and up and then sweep your arms back down. You can sync it up with breath or try to move really slowly and find a spot that feels interesting, challenging, good. And as you move, the block or the edges of the block might find new places to sort of poke into and provide a little bit of gentle pressure. Now, if that's too much in any one spot, you can make the motion smaller and maybe keep it confined below the shoulders. You can also lift one arm and then set it back down. And this lift and settle is a nice way to reset the shoulder blades. Such that each time you lift the arm, you're just reaching it up, maybe slightly across your body. When you settle the arm back down, the position of the block against the back line tends to change ever so slightly each time. And it changes the pressure and contact points. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Once you've settled into a spot that feels good, take 3 more steady breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Breath in and then a breath out. One more time, breathe in. With your exhale, interlace your hands behind your head. Use your hands for support. Wrap your elbows in and tilt your head up until you can start to look to the space between your thighs or knees. Let your upper abdominals start to turn on, and we're going to use the ridge of the block just to activate in the upper abs for a moment. So take a breath in, gently lean your head back. If you can help it, don't let your head touch the floor. And with your exhale, try to lift back up. We'll do that a few more times. Inhaling, back and open. Exhaling, up and in. Inhaling, gently arching back to open through the ribs. Exhaling, hollow up and in. Breath in. And breath out. Now you can keep going with that if that feels okay, or to add a layer, you'll inhale back, you'll exhale forward, and then the option to add on is to extend one leg forward and hover it above the floor. So you inhale forward, and it just heightens the sense of lengthening across the front line. And exhale, hollow up and in. Forward with the leg, the head goes back. Exhale, hug up and in. And again, you can keep the foot on the ground if this isn't working for you. We'll do one more. Inhale. Exhale, up and in. This time, plant the foot that was extended if you're doing that, and switch sides, extend the other leg. As you inhale, you'll lean back, hovering the other foot above the floor. Exhale, hollow up and down. Up and in, I should say. Inhale, reaching your chest and head back. Exhale, hug it in. Breath in, opening. Breath out, finding the support four. One or two more as it works in your body. You inhale. And then you exhale. Last time, breathe in. And with your exhale, bring both feet on the floor as you hug up and in. You can stay here and use your hands on your thighs to come up, or if your elbows comfortably touch down, you can press into them. It doesn't always work for folks, so pick what makes sense for your body. We'll come to a comfortable seat, whether that means you're sitting on a block or a towel rolled up is a matter of personal preference. Cool. A little bit of shoulder and upper back love now. There's a tendency when we're sitting to overdo the arch and the round, but since we've been activating a little bit, before we move in this spot, try to land your sit bones or the bony part of your bum and pelvis so that they're really level. From right to left, there's evenness in the bum. And then if your rib cage starts to go forward, it will often pull your pelvis forward and down. So, or if your rib cage is pulling back, it will often tilt your pubic bone forward but up. So try to find that place where your rib cage is stacking over your hips and you feel that full wall of your torso steady. Breathe in and breathe out. In through the nose and then back out. We'll add some movement, but try to maintain that sense of the shoulders stacking over the ribs, over the hips, even as we move through the arms. So on your inhale, reach your arms out and up, keeping everything steady in the middle. And with your exhale, let your hands come to center. We'll do that twice more. Notice if there's a place in the motion where your body tries to move, and help yourself stabilize. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, hands towards center. Again, inhale, reach high. Exhale, palms coming down. One more time, why not? Inhale, stretch and reach. Exhale, let your palms come towards one another. We'll take a gentle neck stretch here. You'll send your wrists, elbows and wrists, keep them in line, send them over to the left. And it's tempting to sort of turn the body, but instead try to keep towards the front so your upper body is still facing in the same direction it was a moment ago. And with your hands shifting to the left, you'll press through your right fingertips so you get a little forearm stretch through the left arm. As you're here, you'll lean your head away so your head leans to the right. Take a breath in. And then a breath out. As you're here, take a moment to gently draw your chin towards your chest. Let the side of your neck get a little longer. Breath in. Breath out. Back through center as you inhale. Tilt your head up, or if it needs to come down first to lift up, that's okay. With an exhale, your hands will shift, hands and elbows over to your second side. Take a breath in. And this time, the left fingers will press into the right fingers. Pause here. And when you're ready, you'll lean your head away. So your head leans to the left this time. If you can close your eyes and get quiet in the doing, the sensation will start to feel more present, perhaps louder. Breathe in and breathe out. We'll take another breath in.
Mommy, can you put my shoes on?
Dada can help you, buddy.
But then we're going with people.
He'll be right back.
But then...
Okay. We'll come back to center. Take a breath in. Come here, buddy. Can you go get your shoes and I'll put them on for you?
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Inhale, your arms go high. And with your exhale, we'll come into table, hands and knees. So your hands can come through center and then forward and down. And as you're setting up table, let your knees be on something comfortable and your wrists can be flat palms or fists. Sure, buddy. And as you come into your table, take a couple of cat-cows.
Because you have to be quiet.
I know.
Because that's why I have to be quiet.
Yeah, you can let him know who put your shoes on. Go say hi to that for me. So here you go. Good job, bud. So as you inhale, you'll arch through the spine. And as you exhale, you'll round. Now there's a tendency to really emphasize the lower back and belly in the shape. So for today, try to roll through your shoulders and bring some awareness into that space just below the shoulder blades in your back. Inhaling. And as you exhale, hollow up through that same spot in the low ribs so that you feel your upper and middle back round high. Inhaling to arch. And exhaling to round. We'll take a few more. Inhaling. And exhaling. You can keep going with that, but when you feel complete, we'll extend the right leg long behind. Take a breath in. And with your exhale, try to keep level hips. Just float the right leg up with the exhale. Notice if your tendency is to sink in the rib cage. With your inhale, set your right foot down. Try to hollow the ribs in so there's still a straight line as you're breathing in. With your exhale, keep that sense of hollow, but lift the right leg. We'll do this twice more. Inhale, the right foot taps down. Square the hips. Exhale, hollow in. Lift the leg. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, lift through the right leg. Bend in the right knee. Step the right foot forward. Now, bring your hands onto your right thigh. If your left knee is needing extra cushion, you can use a rolled up towel. You can roll up the side of your mat. But take care so that your knee is not cranky as you come up. So you'll bend into your front knee and let your hips come forward. Take a breath in. And a breath out. All right. Your right knee is going to stay stacked over your right heel. On your inhale, take your left arm high, reach up, look up. With your exhale, hug in through the low ribs. So we'll do that again. Inhale, lifting through the chest, looking up. With your exhale, reconnect to the low ribs, hug them in. One more time, inhale, so there's a little back bend. This time, hug up and in. Send the left arm forward and the right arm back behind you. Now, as you stabilize, you can put your hands on your hips if it's too much, twisty-wise. Press through the top of your back foot to help you stabilize. Now, we'll be here for a moment. We're going to play here. On your inhale, your arms are extended. On your exhale, bend your elbows, hug them in towards your side body. So you extend out with your in-breath and hug in as you exhale. Breathe in and breathe out. Two more. Inhaling and exhaling. Breath in. Breath out. This time as you inhale, pause. With your exhale, start to extend your right leg, and this will start to feel wobbly. And if you're feeling really wobbly, you can take your right foot more to the right. Pause for a moment. Breathe in. As you exhale, you can bring your hands to your hips to help you turn your right toes up and stabilize here. Let your hips level off, squaring so that your upper body is facing in the same direction as your right leg. Breathe in. Try to shift your sit bones or your bum back in space. You can even put your hands on your bum and think, back into my hands. You breathe in. And you breathe out. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, come up to stack the shoulders over the left hip. And with your exhale, as lightly as you can, bring your right knee down beside your left. Now you can make the cushion come underneath both knees as your body needs. We'll look for the strap now. Okay. Put the strap in your hands. Reach your arms up and back to the degree that's okay. Inhale and lift your chest. And with your exhale, You can shift your knees a little wider. We'll come all the way into child's pose, maintaining a sense of pulling across the strap as you lower down. We'll do that again, and if you need a transitional moment, you can transition through table to help your knees come together. Breathing in, using your coil or your exhale to coil up. Breathe in, reach high, pull the strap apart. And with your exhale, you'll slide your knees apart as you come all the way down. Inhale to table. Exhale to coil up. Breath in, reaching up. And again, pulling in the strap. Exhale, child's pose your way down. Inhale, table. Exhale, coil. Inhale, stretch up, pull in the strap. Exhale, this time as you come to child's pose, set the strap to the side. And if it feels better on the shoulders to take your hands back by your heels, you can do that. Take a breath in and let your forehead rock from side to side. And breathe out when it's time. As you're ready, we'll come up to table to set up the second side. Shoulders under, over wrist rather. You can be on fists or flat palms, whatever serves you best. Extend your left leg, have the toes tap down, and take a moment to set your body up with the right knee under the right hip. Breathe in with strength but extension. With your exhale, hollow through the low ribs, lift the left heel up. Inhale, set the left foot down. Exhale, hug it up. 3 more should balance us out. Inhale the foot down. Exhale, lift. Breath in. And breath out. One more time, inhaling. And with your exhale, lift through the left heel. Bend the left knee and step the left foot forward. If you need to walk it forward once it lands, that's fine. Bring your left hand to your left thigh, maybe both hands. And shift your hips from side to side until they feel level. Sometimes you need to adjust the cushion for your knees. Take care of your joints and they will take care of you. Okay. As you feel ready, you can leave the left hand down on your thigh for support and even a brace. On your inhale, you'll take the right arm up. Maybe your gaze shifts up and back. With your exhale, hug in through the low ribs. Inhale, lifting up and back, back bend. Exhale, finding that same drawing in place from our bridge crunches. Inhale, reaching back, I should say fish crunches. Exhale, hollow in. One more time, inhale. And exhale. This time, extend the right arm forward and the left arm back, and you're in a high twist. Apparently, my right knee is not going to be happy about it. There we go. So the right arm goes forward and the left arm goes back. Once you find stability across your pelvis and a happy spot on your knees, and be willing to keep working for it. So if your knee is saying, geez, this doesn't work for me, that's okay. Just make an adjustment until it feels better. And then And take a breath in. And when you exhale, you'll hug your elbows in. Inhale through the extension of the arms. Exhale, draw the elbows in. Reach as you breathe in. Hug in as you breathe out. One or two more. Breath in and out. In and out. We'll pass back through center with the extension of the arms, I should say. Breathe in. And with your exhale, slowly begin to extend your left leg. You can keep the palm or the sole of your left foot down, but try to keep your hips level. Take a moment's pause. When you're ready, turn your left toes up. And again, if you need support, you can grab a chair or whatever's around you to get the support you need. Breathe in. With an exhale, make it a conscious choice to turn forward. You can put your thumbs in your hip creases to try to level your hips off and gently encourage them back. If it works to have your hands on your bum or your low back to help you think shifting back, you can do that again. We'll stay here or hinge from the hips to the degree that you can for 3 breaths. Now 2. One more inhale. One more exhale. With your inhale, begin to stand up. Upright through the shoulders and the hips, I should say. With your exhale, you can have hands on hips or again a wall. Try to slide the left foot or left knee gently back beside the right. All right, grab your strap. And if you need extra cushion under your knees, get it so that your knees can be happy. I'm going to try something different this time. There we go. So, with your inhale, reach your arms up. But this time as you exhale, sit your hips back towards your heels. So you can sit on a block behind you. If you don't have a block, you can use a bolster or a pillow between your feet. Something to allow you to come down easily. For some folks, this will feel possible to bring the arms all the way back. For others, especially if there's an injury, it won't, and that's okay. You work with what makes sense in your body. This time as you inhale, you'll come all the way up. And with your exhale, you'll shift your hips back, but bring your hands forward. Inhale all the way up. Exhale the hands back, the hips back. Okay. Inhale, the arms go high. The hips come up. Exhale, hands forward and down, chest forward and down. One more time. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, arms back, hips back, pause. You can set the strap down behind you unless you need it to interlace your hands. If you can interlace your hands here, do that instead. Try to change the interlace to the finger that feels strange on top. Shrug your shoulders forward a bit, roll them back together, bend the elbows, hug them in. Then draw the knuckles down. A little bit of a back bend here. Breathe in. And breathe out. 2 breaths. One more deep inhale. And with your exhale, release your hands. Inhale your arms up. And with your exhale, bring your hands together at center chest. Cool. Deep breath in, you get tall. And with your exhale, just turn your upper body to the left Yeah, so we're used to doing like a twist and chair pose where we really wrench around. Here we're trying to use our upper abs and our back muscles to help rotate. Let your hands fall in line with your elbows. So there's a straight line all the way across. Yeah. And then you breathe in. And you breathe out. Inhale back through center. Exhale, release your hands down. Setting up the second side. Sweep your arms up. Breathe in. Exhale, hands through center. Really anchor through the hips and notice if your upper body tries to sway forward or back in relation to the hips. You'll just turn to the right. And for many of us, there's a rotation, a side that is harder. Even though we think of sides as rights and lefts, we don't think of this twisting line as a side, but we definitely have sides here. So as you rotate, maybe you notice that your hip tries to pick up. Anchor it back down. Breathe in. And with your exhale, you have the capacity to sort of hug in a little more. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more breath in. And with your exhale, unravel to center. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, down to neutral. We'll be coming into downward dog. If it's preferable to stay with table because of something going on in your body, stay in table instead. But you'll inhale your way forward to hands and knees to set up. You can paw your hands a few inches forward of a traditional table. Curl your toes under behind you. Lift your hips up, and here we are in down dog. Pedal it out as your body sees fit, bending one knee and then the other. And as you sway in your hips, use the freer, lighter side to wrap the shoulder in. As you shift from side to side, you can integrate your shoulders as well. Take a breath in. And a breath out. All right. Inhale, high up on your toes. And with your exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet. Now you can take your feet as wide as you need to here, or your hands to blocks so that your hands can touch down. And if blocks aren't handy, grab some, that's fine. We're gonna look to really soften the spine from this place where it attaches in your pelvis. So grab blocks again, make them as tall as you need to let your upper body have some freedom. You can sway in your hips, you can shake your head yes and no. You can play with the blocks until you find the just right amount of height where you can feel your spine dangle from your hips. Breath comes in. Breath goes out. Now for many folks, this is a hamstring stretch, but that's not the intention today. So you can bend in the knees to take some of the pressure off. And in doing so, it allows the spine to move more freely, to fold more deeply. You can stay here as long as you like. It's actually a yin posture. You can stay quite a while if that feels good. When you're ready to be done, set your hands towards the floor, bend in your knees, and walk your hands up your legs until you take a slow roll up to stand. I'm going to turn sideways on my mat so we can do one bit of standing. There we go. So give yourself the length of your mat here. You can step from one side to the other. So your feet come into a wide-legged position. Turn your toes ever so slightly out and bend in your knees for horse pose. Or goddess pose if you prefer that name. Now here, as the hips come down, there's a tendency for the bum to shift back or the belly to come forward. Try to find neutral in the pelvis first, and then come back up to the rib cage, this lower part of the ribs and the middle part of the back that we've been playing with. And notice if you end up trying to arc and round there as well. Finding neutral. Breathe in. And breathe out. Once you feel you found neutral, put your hands on your hips. And we'll try to maintain that sense of a straight line from the pelvis up through the crown of the head. But let the elbows and chest, I should say the elbows and the shoulder blades gently move. So the elbows are out to the side with your in-breath. With your exhale, keep your ribs from moving, but hug your elbows back. Yeah. Inhale the elbows out to the side. Exhale, let them hug back. Twice more. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. This time, inhale and your elbows go forward. Bend in your right knee. Let your left leg extend out and we'll come into Skandasana, dropping the hips low. Turn the left toes up and look at your toes. You can shift them to turn in and then shift them to turn out. And you might find a slightly different place in the hamstrings as you play with this rotation. It's worth noting if you're locking out your knee, you can find a subtle bend there and still feel plenty through the hamstrings. You can avatar walk like the Blue Man movie with your hands over to the second side. Let yourself land in the posture first, Skandasana. And then maybe you turn your toes in. Maybe you turn your toes out. Breathe in and out. The way out will be different here. This time, let your hips come down. You'll keep your left knee lifted and your right toes high. I'm gonna give a little space from the wall. We'll set up a side bend. You can keep the left foot on the floor and take your right hand to your left ankle. So you're crossing your body with your right hand. And then reach your left arm up. And use your left arm to reach overhead, but the resistance from the right arm is helping provide some support. So you can actually pull in your right arm as you reach overhead with the left. The left toes stay lifted or pointing up. Breathe in. And breathe out. Getting a little space through the side body can often give a little bit more space and room through the mid-back region that we've been playing with today. And then you can come up an inch or two by pulling through the right hand and lower back down. And play with that through your in-breath, lifting ever so slightly. And with your exhale, lowering down. When you feel done, you'll pull in the right hand to sit up. Let the left knee come down. And here we'll set up bolster twist. So You can use a block and a bolster right off of the left hip so that your left thigh is right at the edge. If you have sensitivity in your outer hip, sometimes I end up needing an extra blanket or something underneath the hip. This is particularly true if you have if you're very bony or if your joints are very loose. The extra cushion feels nice. So you'll slide your left hip right up against the edge of the bolster, and your right knee had been extended. Bend it and hug it in. You'll turn to face the bolster. Now, I have a baby growing in here, so this doesn't work perfectly for me anymore, but the belly and chest will come towards the bolster and the chin too. And then once you land the belly and chest, turn your head to the side that feels most comfortable. If you need the space for your belly for any reason, you can just shift the bolster a little farther away from you to create a gap. The aim of this shape is to really allow the body to be at ease. So if your chest is preventing your shoulders from softening, or if your elbows are lifted, you can walk your hands wider or put a towel underneath them. If you have a slightly larger chest, sometimes it inhibits the ability to soften. You can roll up a towel, basically tuck it under your armpits to create a little extra support at the chest-shoulder junction. If you have no desire to move, that's cool. Don't move. If you're ready to transition to the second side, you'll walk your hands in underneath you. Sit yourself up first. You can plant the sole of your right foot and let your weight shift over into the right side of your pelvis. Pick up the left knee so that if there was something underneath, you can move it first. And then slide the bolster to the side so you can extend your left leg. So now we're set up for the second side. And if you need to adjust clothing or add extra props, feel free. Sometimes the extended leg needs something a little extra underneath it, just so the knee's not pushing down. Your left hand, as you're ready, will come across to catch your right shin. From here, sit up tall, and then reach your right arm overhead. Take a breath in. You're gonna lean over your left extended leg. And maybe you pause and stay. Maybe you pulse with your inhale, gently lifting up. And let your exhale gently bring you down. Pulsing up and down is optional. So if you're just vibing a chilled out side bend, that's totally fine. But you can also pulse the up and down a few more times. When you feel done, you'll use the pull of your left hand to lift you up. When your right arm is lifted, use both hands to help you set your right knee down. You'll probably need to reach to the other side of your mat to get your props. You'll reconstruct the ramp this time by your right thigh. And if you need a blanket or towel underneath your hip, get it. You'll set the bolster over the top. Now, my bolster is pretty thick. If it works better for your body to have 2 blocks, 1 low, 1 high, you can do that. Just make sure you're getting the support that you need with what you have. You'll bend your left knee, draw it in. Turn towards this ramp shape that you've made and bring your body down. It tends to be most comfortable for the head to turn towards the knees. And the reason the support is there under your belly is to really let your low back feel supported so that when you're twisting, it's your mid-body that's able to rotate onto your props. Give yourself permission to add any support that you're noticing your body would need now or could benefit from. Whether that's a towel under the chest or under an elbow. Well, sometimes this is the perfect place for final rest. Before the baby in my belly, this is a pose I could usually fall asleep in. So if you're not feeling inclined to move, please don't. But if you are inclined to move, you'll press down into your hands, sit yourself up, and we'll take final rest up against this bolster, revisiting supported fish, but a slightly more supported variation. So you'll slide the small of your back up against the edge of the bolster. If you have blocks or extra towels that you can tuck under your legs, you can come into a butterfly shape, but for some it's too intense to keep the butterfly shape for 5 minutes. If it's gonna feel too intense, instead extend your legs out, but put something under your thighs so that there's some softness there. Whichever way is gonna provide you the most support, set it up that way. And you can create a neck pillow out of a towel or a blanket, whatever you have handy. Just giving a little extra support underneath your neck. Once you come back onto the bolster, make any last minute adjustments. Shimmy your hips, change the height of the blocks, do what you need to do so that your body can really find ease for these last few moments. And classically, Shavasana really isn't intended to be a place where you fall asleep, as much as a place where you're able to withdraw from your senses and go a little deeper in. The Sanskrit word is pratyahara. And you might go into that deeper space, or you might float in between waking and dreaming in one of these other worldly states of consciousness. Observe yourself even as you drift. If you have more time to spend and rest this evening, stay a little longer. If you're ready to transition, bring the soles of your feet to the floor first. If there's anything to shift to the side, blocks or blankets or towels, you can move them. Take a breath here, in and out. As you're ready to move again, you can hold onto your thighs and pull yourself up, or you can press down into your hands and elbows for support. As you come upright, sit on whatever allows you to feel more comfortable in your hips and back. Before we close out practice, take your body in a big circle. So you can land your hands on your knees, but move in a big wide arc. And you can feel the shift across your pelvis, across your belly, across your back as you rotate. You might catch a little snap, crackle, pop here and there. And after a few circles in one direction, change the direction. When you feel complete, slow your circles until you land at neutral. Take a breath in and a breath out. Settling your weight evenly into the sit bones so that the shoulders can stack over the ribs, can stack over the pelvis. Take a breath in and a breath out. On an inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Let your fingers touch, and as you exhale, bring your fingertips to center chest. Set your mind to whatever it was that got you to practice. And connect your heart to that sense of purpose. And honor the connection between the mind, the heart, and the body. We'll close our practice in gratitude for the connections that we're able to hold in ourselves in between. Thank you for sharing practice.